Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we look ahead to week 0 of college football. Kevin Rogers with you alongside. There he is, Brian Edwards. Looking forward to another profitable season with him. And Brian, of course, big SEC honk, but we're going to look at some other action as well for week 0. We're going to look at everything with Brian all throughout the college football season. So, Brian, it's good to see you again. And obviously, not a lot of action this week. So, what you like straight out of the gate is a 3-team parlay. So which teams do you like for this one this week?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough week. There's not a lot of quality teams in action. Really, Nebraska is probably the only team that we could consider quality. And I mean, they went 3-9 last year, although I do have them ranked 46th in my power rankings. But I feel like a lot of people are pretty high on Nebraska this year. They did a good job in the portal. They 8 of their 11 games when they entered the Big Ten against Northwestern have been 1-possession games. In fact, 6 of them have been 3 points or fewer or gone to overtime. But Northwestern's offense was so bad last year and in 2019. But I don't want to lay big points with Nebraska, but I am confident they'll win outright. So I'm going to start a parlay with Nebraska minus 525 on the money line to Northwestern. Then I'm going to go with FAU on the money line at home as a 7 or 7.5 point favorite versus Charlotte. FAU's minus 275 in the parlay. I watched them thump Charlotte in Charlotte in a midweek game one night last year by a 38-9 score. And Charlotte's defense was just so bad late last year. In fact, they gave up 33 points or more in 6 of their last 9 games. I do like Charlotte's quarterback, Chris Reynolds, but I think FAU at home is a safe pick to just win outright. And then Vanderbilt minus 260 in a late night game at 10:30 p.m. Eastern at Hawaii. Many remember when Todd Graham left, roughly 25 to 30 guys transferred out, all their best players. Chevin Cordero, quarterback, 3-year starter, he's just San Jose. So Vanderbilt's not going to be good this year, but I mean, Hawaii is starting from ground zero. They've got the least returning production and starters are right there with the least in all the country this year. So I think Vandy as a 6.5 point favorite will win outright, minus 260 on the money line. So those 3 together, Nebraska, FAU, and Vandy to win outright is plus 124 on the prices I had in my parlay that I just gave. But you might be able to find some better prices, maybe get your parlay to be plus 130. But that's all I'm going with. It's not maybe I'll be looking for some in-game bets, but that's about it with the
All right, no, that's fine. And look, week 0, there's not a lot to choose from on the menu, but still, if you're going to go with those teams, Nebraska, FAU, and Vanderbilt on the moneyline parlay, and that's going to be Brian's best bet for week 0. Now, with week 1, Brian, starting next week, everyone gets to suit up, and we'll have season win totals. We still have a little bit of time before that starts. You have 3 season win totals to focus on. The first one we'll look at, Mountain West, the Fresno State Bulldogs with Jeff Tedford off a 10-win season last year. What do you like on their over-under this year?
So I think they're going to be favored 10 times. I'm going over 8.5. Now, I got it minus 125 earlier in the summer. I believe DraftKings still has it at minus 125, but some other books have it juiced up to minus 155. So if that's the case, I wouldn't be as aggressive with it. I'd still play it. Obviously, our big fear here is if Jake Haener gets hurt, the QB who threw for 4,096 yards, 33-9 TDI&T ratio last year as Fresno goes, like you mentioned, a 10-win season, 8 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. Now, DeBoer leaves the head coach to go to Washington, but Tedford comes back. Don't look at it as a complete regime change. He was gone 2 years because of a medical issue, but he recruited a lot of these guys. He retained 3 assistants. He hired 4 assistants that were on his previous staff. Remember, he's only been gone 2 seasons. And the first season he was there in 17, they went from 1-11 and 16 to 10-4 under him, and then 12-2. They've got an elite secondary, and they've got one of the best wide receiver cores in the country, not G5 in the country. Phil Steele National Unit Rankings ranked them 7th at wide receiver. Big-time quarterback. I think they probably lose at USC, and at Boise will be the other one. They should be favored in their other 10. I like Fresno over 8.5.
All right, now taking a look at our second win total, Brian, in the ACC. It's been tough for Georgia Tech. 3 consecutive seasons of 3 wins apiece under Jeff Collins. Now the win total at 3.5 again. They open with Clemson out of the gate. What do you think about Georgia Tech and their win total this year?
Yeah, I think they'll be underdogs 10 times. I think they're going to go 2-10. I believe that they'll win at home to Western Carolina, and I think they'll beat Duke at home. Their most winnable games other than those are Virginia at home and at Virginia Tech. And even if they split those, we still win. And by the way, some books have it at 4 with more juice, but I'm fine with 3.5. And they just, they've won 3 games apiece in each of Jeff Collins' 3 seasons. And they only got 8 starters back. A lot of their best players transferred, like Jahmyr Gibbs to Alabama, their star running back. Their defense gave up 33.5 last year, and that's Jeff Collins' side of the ball. And in his 3 seasons, all their defenses have been worse by a lot than all the Paul Johnson defenses. You almost gave a mulligan to Collins for their meager offense initially because, they're going from an old school option type offense to a regular modern type attack. But their defenses, and that's Collins' side of the ball, have been bad. I don't know that he's even going to survive October on Georgia Tech, who's got a brutal non-conference that includes Ole Miss at home with their double-digit dog, at Georgia, and at UCF. So rough year for the Yellow Jackets. I think they'll be looking for a new coach not too long from now.
And the final win total, Brian, we'll focus on in the SEC. Mike Leach, his 3rd season at Mississippi State, and that offense starting to get moving. Will Rogers coming back. He had a great season last year, coming off a 7-6 campaign. What do you think about the Bulldogs over/under?
Yeah, I like them over 6.5. I mean, I when I bet a win total, I like to be confident to have a 1.5 game cushion, and I'm confident they're going to win 8. I'm really confident they're going to win 7, and I'm not sure that they won't have a breakout year and win 9. In fact, when Mike Leach has a 3-year starting quarterback, which he has in Will Rogers this year, he's won at least 9 games every time. He did that with Graham Harrell and Kingsbury at Texas Tech, and he did it with my guy, one of my favorites of all time, Luke Falk at Washington State. They only lost 14 Letterman. They were only 7-6 last year, but they were plus 1,257 in net yardage. Their field goal kickers were 2 of 10 on field goals from 40 or longer. I mean, they lost close games because of horrible field goal kicking, especially the one at Arkansas where they missed 3 of them and lost by 3. They out-yarded LSU by 143 yards, but field goal kicking killed them in that game. But this is a team that won at Texas A&M when they were ranked 15th. They beat Kentucky by double digits when Kentucky was ranked 12th. They won at Auburn when Auburn was ranked 16th. Let's see. 2 of their losses were to ranked teams. They went 3-2 against ranked teams. They got hosed at Memphis. Look, I like Mississippi State's receivers, their D-line, their linebackers, their secondary. They're going to be good over 6.5 for Hail State.
Don't ever bring up that Memphis game again with the Mississippi State with that silly punt return.
3 things happened on that play. 1, they downed it. Should have been down. Memphis had 2 guys wearing the same number, automatic penalty. And when he did down it, all the Memphis players rightfully thought the play was over and started going out on the field. There were like 20 players on the field when the guys at midfield going for a touchdown. And the replay guy held it up.
It was ridiculous. I had Mississippi State in that game, and when I saw the replay of that, I'm like, what are we doing? So that was a bad one, but I do like you are right. Mississippi State had a lot of close losses last year, and we'll see how they do this year. Mike Leach's 3rd season as head coach. Brian Edwards, great job covering college football. We'll talk to Brian every week here on our YouTube channel at Vegas Insider TV, looking ahead to our best bets in college football.
And a shout out to the new Vegas Insider podcast that I'm hosting, Bet CFB. It drops every Thursday, and then I don't know when we're going to start doing it twice a week. Maybe, I don't know if maybe this week or next week. We'll do another one on Sunday that'll drop on Monday.
So looking forward to that. Brian, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, man.
All right, that is Brian Edwards. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, best of luck with your bets.